let's revisit I don't chase, I attract. I think this is stupid. Like 80% of men like have not ever approached a woman in person to like ask them on a date like in this generation. So the kind of men we're dealing with now where like if you want a partner, I feel like you have to just go out and like adopt him. You have to go out and find him and adopt him because like the guys who do the approaching, they're like completely ran through because if two guys are approaching and then 80% of guys are like, you know, not doing anything. So if you have two guys that are approaching, 8 guys that don't do anything, the 2 guys who do approach, they're probably not even that into you. You're probably just like, a game to them. Like they don't even really care. Like if they're approaching you, they're approaching other people. So maybe just adopt the guy that, doesn't know how to chase. So like why should we let the guys do all the chasing? Like that gives them too much power, I feel like. So
I mean, you don't have to go that far. I think it's just what some women who are married have told you. I'm looking at the guy that doesn't have a lot of women around him. It seems like all of these women are chasing this one guy. You used to say that in high school, and they're saying the same thing now. When the guy is being chased by a lot of women, what does that signal to you? He has a lot of options. So then why would you then go over there and pick the guy who has a lot of options and you might be good looking, but he doesn't have to pick you because he has, once again, say it with me, options. So why don't you do your homework and due diligence and find out, okay, why is nobody looking at this guy? You might find that he's creepy and a weirdo, but you also might find that, no, this is just a regular guy. He isn't boastful. He doesn't brag. He doesn't move around like that. He's not really loud. People just don't look at him because he's quiet. He just keeps to himself. He keeps his head down. He works. Seems like this is a nice guy. Hey, why don't we hang out? Why don't we be friends? Hey, I like you. Why don't we get into the relationship? It's literally that easy. It's literally that easy. But too many times modern women psych themselves out and end up picking the wrong man anyway.
So I'm currently getting ready to go out with my ex-boyfriend. Um, and I just, the reason I'm making this video, it's so funny, is because right now we're texting on like a fake text app because um, we're blocked on everything. We've been blocked on social media for about 8 months now. And also, we both pay to have like 5 other numbers just so we can like text each other because we block each other every day. Not to mention, this man has been in the past month, like at least once a week, I'm seeing this man, and we're blocked. Like we're making plans right now, on our Text Now app. This is also the one that I made the video about. He sent diapers to my house like on GoPuff because he wants me to be his baby mama. He wants my children. So I'm just saying, guys, like you can stalk the followings all you want, but it's the one that's blocked because this man the past 8 months has been sleeping right next to me when we're blocked on absolutely everything. There's been times where we're so blocked that we just show up at each other's houses. I'm sorry, like legally, probably there's some legal things I'm just not even gonna admit to or say on here. Point is, like this video if you think this tonight will end badly because we haven't like gone out together like into the world for a long time. So, like this video if you think tonight will end horribly.
How Did This Happen? Episode 2. Ladies, you chose the bear. Think about that for a minute, all right? Because I see all of y'all clutching your pearls and beating your chests. Why did men show up for us? And they hate us, and men, and misogyny. No, you chose the bear. You made it viral. You drilled it into every man's head in this country, specifically young men, that you hate them. You fear them, you hate them, and they're worthless. And then when they got upset, you tripled down on it. You chose the bear. You told every man, specifically young men in this country, why they suck, why they're worthless, why they're awful. They didn't respond positively for that. And they didn't show up for you. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Look, when you go out of your way, and I'm not talking about like, oh, just kind of flippantly, you went miles out of your way to tell every man in the Western world how awful and worthless they are. What did you expect? Is that what you thought it took to have them have your back? Because that's not how fucking anything works. That's not how anything works. You go out of your way to shun people and shame them and tell them they're pieces of shit and they're worse than a wild animal bear? A nature monster? What the f is going on? What are we doing here? This is another reason. I'm trying to explain to you people, Kamala didn't lose this election. You did. You lost it for her. You did this. This is just episode number 2. There's a lot more coming. There are endless reasons of why you, liberal people, and I hate to do this, but specifically white liberal women, you ruined everything. White women ruin everything. Episode 3 coming soon.
So this is the lady that was upset with one of her friends because he cut her off, essentially. He said, hey, listen, he sent her the text message, and if I can find it, I'll put it here. But he sent her a text message and say, hey, I got a girlfriend, and she's not comfortable with me talking to you. So that's it for us. And this is her update after a dude roasted her, and she's trying to get back on him because obviously you can't let people get on you. But let's see how this turns out. So here's the video that I was talking about where he sent her the text message and said, hey, I was talking to Camilla, which is his girlfriend, about how our friendship began. And she expressed that she had concerns about it and doesn't feel comfortable with us continuing our friendship. Out of respect for her wishes and where her concerns stem from, I told her I would honor her wishes. That being said, I did want to tell you that I appreciate you for being an amazing friend you have been and wish nothing but the best for you and your boys. And then he blocked her.
We don't have to be as close as we used to be, but I shouldn't be blocked off of every platform and sent a text message cutting me off is crazy. And I'm blocked. That's his Instagram. So according to a black man on TikTok, I am a gold digging because I had a best friend that cut me off for a girl he's known for 3 weeks.
The saga continues. Let me say this first. I love black women.
God knows I do.
But one time Farrakhan said this.
No nation can rise any higher than its women. The standard by which we measure the civilization of a people is not the man. The standard by which we measure the civilization of a people is seen in the woman. When you have women that are uncultivated, underdeveloped, you have an uncultivated, underdeveloped people and nation.
And then he said this.
Maintaining the woman means that you have a responsibility to protect her and to protect your children. But guess what? You cannot protect what you cannot control. Wait now. Sisters, when I use the word control, that makes you upset sometimes because you don't want nobody to control you. But no man can protect what he cannot control.
Man, that man be saying some good stuff. He almost as good as me. But seriously, I love black women. And because I love black women, I tell them the truth. It's not my version of the truth. It's the absolute truth. That's why most people tend to not be able to find any disagreement with it. They just want to talk about my eye, talk about my weight, talk about, my gap. It tend to do ad hominem attacks instead of sticking to what I'm saying. And I do know that truth offends. That's the very nature of what it is, the very nature of what it does. I'm not trying to be hurtful with the things I say. I just call it like I see it. I've done reaction videos since the time I started YouTube, the time I started TikTok. Never in my history have I ever ran across anyone who responded this way. I truly believe this is a clinical issue, and I'm not trying to bully this lady. And I want anyone else who is trying to go over to her page, please stop, because we don't want to be the cause of anything happening. Although it wouldn't be our fault, whatever were to happen. But, you know, we don't want to cause any more trauma or any type of ill will towards anyone. She has responded, ladies and gentlemen. Not only she respond, she been hitting me up all day in my DM with voice memos, with DM text on multiple platforms. I gotta let you guys hear this. So we're gonna start with her initial reaction to my video. She gonna say some truth in there, you know, about my eye and my weight and all that stuff. But listen to all the lies she tells. I don't understand why a certain demographic of women, I ain't gonna say who, have to lie so much. And I'm gonna say this as well before we get into it. It's only one group of people on earth that I've come across that in efforts to try to prove you wrong, but they prove you so right. Take a look at her reaction to my video.
So, according to a black man on TikTok, I am a gold digging because I had a best friend that cut me off for a girl he's known for 3 weeks. And I made a video when I was very emotional. As soon as I got in the text, I made a video. Instead of making an informative video, maybe saying your stance on that kind of subject, this man, who I'm about to put on the screen, decided to call me out of my name, to attack a young black woman in a state of a state of being vulnerable. You are a predator, sir. It is disgusting to warp reality and place your own narratives into something that didn't need more narratives. The whole thing was there. If you had a question, ask it, but don't add your own context to something that is black and white. Nothing was gray. You didn't need to add context to my emotional story. That's weird. It is very much gives black women hatred, and y'all want every black woman to be some gold digging as your mama was. Let me start off by saying I'm a nurse and a bartender. I have my own money, probably more than you and your wife, actually. Also, at the time of my life where I was speaking on when he came into my life, I was at a very vulnerable and low place in my life, and he was a light in that spot. That's why I spoke so much on what he meant to me, not on what I meant to him. Meaning I spoke on what he did for me, not on what I did for him, because the video was about me losing him. Okay, keep up, because I know it's gonna go over y'all head. I know y'all didn't, I know the education is lacking. I understand y'all have no emotional, mental awareness, so please keep up. So here is the troll we are speaking of, stuffing his big belly while speaking down on a black woman. So original. It's actually so original, right? I twisted, cocked-eyed, this and the other way. There's so many things I could say about this man, but I'm not really here to attack him. My story wasn't about him. It wasn't about black men. Actually, the man in question was white. It was about my best friend and how I felt about how he went about cutting me off for a woman he barely knew. But to call me a gold digger, don't you have to sleep with somebody to be a first of all? Oh, okay. Those are the type of men that were never able to have platonic relationships because they were always trying in the forefront, the back end, trying to get with that woman. No woman that they ever really wanted in life would ever pay them any mind. That's a married man. Your wife should be disgusted with you. I'm sure you didn't even want her. I'm sure that wasn't your first pick. It was a person that picked you, right? I know. You're jealous, like a lot of black men. You're jealous of black women, and y'all don't want to see us treated well. So when I talk about how somebody was a good friend to me, you feel like I didn't deserve a good friend. That's all it comes down to. I could sit here and list off everything I did for that man, but that means I would have to go very deep into what he needed me for at the time. And that's going deep into his business. And I don't care how y'all make me feel in here, I'm not going to divulge what that man has gone through. That man went through so much in his life, and he doesn't even deserve this. He doesn't even know this exists. I will say this, a lot of me in his relationship probably was rooted in some type of trauma bonding. Therefore, that would lead you to understand that there was a lot of trauma that happened in his life that I had to help him through, financially, emotionally, and mentally as well. When I speak on a friendship, I mean a two-sided friendship, meaning I did for him, he did for me. Just like in my relationships with my sister, with my best friends that are women, He was a friend to me. I was a friend to him. Y'all don't know how to be friends. Black men and other men alike, y'all don't know how to be friends to women. That is a you problem, not a me problem. Okay? I'm gonna end all this with saying every man that came from that video to call me out of my name, tell me to move on. First of all, I did move on. That doesn't even make sense. I made that video the day of it happening. When your girlfriend cut you off, were you sad that day? When your best guy friend cut you off, were you sad that day? When your mother died, were you sad that day? Am I not allowed to have emotions or an emotional response the same day? Do y'all think a week later I was on it? No. But I am allowed to divulge my own emotions on my own platform, and I will do just that. I will not get bullied by lonely, miserable, mother-hating Black men who have a deep mother wound that they need to go figure out with the matriarch in their family, not with me on my video, sir. Anyway, last thing, a lot of those comments, men were like, I didn't even see her congratulate him. You didn't even watch my whole video. You came from the creep in the basements video. You don't watch it. At the very end of it, at the end of that video, I wished him well, I wished her well. I simply believed that there was a better way to go about it. And I made like 3 follow-up videos kind of explaining that too, and saying how I actually do understand why he did the thing that he did. I just didn't like the way he went about it, because in a relationship, a friendship, any type of relationship, there should have been some type of mutual respect for what I've done for you and who I've been to you in your life for the past several years. I would never jump in a relationship with a man and then cut off my friends 3 weeks after I'm meeting a man. Because take out the relationship word, because they just met. So 3 weeks after meeting a man, I would not cut off a female friend or a male friend that held space, positive space in my life for the insecurity of anybody. And if y'all believe that that's how you work in your friendships, you're not a real friend. And thank God nobody's befriending you, because you're not a real friend. That's it. Continue to hate me, I'm beautiful.
So I think that we lost the plot here a little bit. So I made a couple of notes. First of all, I don't see in the original video where he said that you were a woman of the street. I don't see in the video where he said that. Here's what actually happened. When they first met, the guy came into a club in Atlanta. That's where they first met. I think they talked for maybe 6 hours. Now, she said she was having a bad day, a bad shift. He came in, they talked, he tipped her $150. They talked, I guess, later on for like 6 hours, or maybe in the bar for 6 hours, right? That's a long time to talk to somebody. But if you're having a bad day, I get it. You know, she talked about trauma bonding. Okay, fine. Here's where it's going to get uncomfortable for the lady in his life, is the fact that he liked her. He liked you, right? And so with him, the man, since maybe you're not understanding, the man is moving you across country. He's renting you a car. He's doing all of he's stepping in the way. He's literally putting himself in danger by coming in between you and your ex. You said your ex was crazy. He's mishandling you. He's literally putting himself in danger, very grave danger, by stepping in the middle of that. So if he's doing that, and there's going to be a time to where you need more of him, right? You don't need it now, but inevitably those things are going to happen. And who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Just kidding. Who are you going to call? You're probably going to call him, because he's your quote unquote close friend. He's gotten you out of some tough situations, and you're going to expect, or at least the way she's thinking, you're going to expect my man to come and get you out of that relationship or that issue again, and he's not available. It'd be the same thing if it is as if he was married, right? So I don't think that you're placing enough emphasis on this. And like you said, he's trying to tell you the truth and help you out. You said something to the fact that when he first got together with the young lady, then you had to get on FaceTime and say, hey, this ain't nothing. This is strictly platonic. Maybe it is, but that indicates that there's something going on. There's a closeness there that any woman or a lot of women would be uncomfortable with. And so he's saying, okay, well, we don't really talk that much anymore. So for that reason, I'm going to have to, kind of let you go. Wish you and the boys the best. Also, so you don't kind of try to work things out like you're doing right here and take to TikTok, I'm going to have to remove you from my platforms to let her know how serious I am. Now, if it had been you requesting this, you would have been like, oh man, he did this, and this for me. All green flags. Love him for that. We love a man that takes me seriously and he's not messing around. Had he done that for you, but now that is something being done against you, it's all of a sudden not necessary. He did too much. All of a sudden, he could have done it a different way. All of a sudden, we're scheming, plotting, and planning on how he could have moved on from you, right? I did so much for him, yada, yada, yada. We were friends, all this other stuff. You might have. That's fantastic. She said something to the effect of, well, that was that day that he kind of cut off our friendship. So I should be able to get on here and say whatever I want about my friend. Yes. And then when people hear it, they should be able to say, wait a minute. Doesn't sound like y'all were friends. It sounded like there was a little bit of interest one way or another. And you did confirm that, in fact, he was interested in you, but you weren't interested in him. The man, you said, was interested. He liked you. You didn't like him. At that point in time, it's done. That means he was spending money on you on a regular basis, doing these huge grandeur gestures to get your attention, and you still didn't like it. So now that he's got another woman and the attention and the validation is not on you and you're not receiving that, then all of a sudden you're mad. That's what it looks like. So no, nobody's picking on you. Maybe you need to do some soul searching and say, like you said, I wish you the best, right? Text me sometime. But because you had a hissy fit, maybe he just needs to move along and leave you alone altogether.